Hi friends, this is the introductory session on quantitative aptitude. Quantitative aptitude is popularly known as QA or as quant. So quantitative aptitude or QA are one and the same thing. So chaliye, now we will be talking more about this in the coming slides. Quantitative aptitude is important for the simple reason that once you join the BFSI sector, that is banking, financial services and insurance sector, you are posted in a supervisory role. Imagine you are 22, 23 or 24, okay, certainly less than 30, and you are posted as an assistant manager, branch manager. You will be having a very good amount of data to handle. You will be having many situations where you will have to do number crunching at the spot. You will be having a lot of challenges where at a very short notice you will have to arrange data, okay, put them in one place, make some sense out of it, that is MIS, okay, Management Information System, and give it to either Reserve Bank, SEBI, IRDA or internally in your own organization. So this quantitative aptitude becomes a part of your qualification process for the simple reason that the future employer of yours wants to ensure that you have no fears of number. That whatever the size of the files, whatever the size of data, you will get the right thing out of it. Okay, and you have a knack of arriving at solutions, okay, out of huge pile of data in no time. So that is why this quant. Got it? As I told you earlier, this is also known as QA or simply quant, short form. These days everything comes in a short form. Number system is one of the most integral part of QA, okay, and before we have some say sample tests, before we have some very challenging assignments as we move forward, we will be first giving a short to as to what numbers are, okay, what type of numbers are. I will tell you in brief that God has given us these numbers, okay, 0, 1, 2 and up to 9. Everything else, whatever you read, whether it's a cube or square or a square root, whatever decimal, is derived from this. So there is a set of numbers, these 10 numbers, okay, 0 and then 1 to 9. Everything else is a derivative of this. The meaning of derivative is derived from. तो इन्हीं 10 में से हासिल किया हुआ है, चाहे फिर वो कुछ भी क्यों ना हो, पावर हो, कुछ भी हो. आगे चले. थैंक यू. ओके. As I told you that quant is very important because this is your ability of an individual. Whose individual? You. They are not going to test me, na? To solve numerical and mathematical calculations. Because in the financial world, you have a very good portion of your time devoted to such calculations. If you are in bank and you have some loans to, sanction or analyze some loan proposal of a customer, then you have got 3 years projections and you have to arrive at a particular figure which is lendable, which is loanable. if you are in insurance and a premium has to be calculated, so premium for A may be differing from premium of B, okay, because the factor could be age, the physical condition of the person who is being insured and things like that. If you are in stock markets, so then again there is a huge compilation of data as to what would be the return on equity and things like that. So your mathematical calculations have to be impeccable, okay. Now what happens is there are certain type of people who think they are not good in maths, okay. They say we are not good in maths. Let me tell you, this is a lie which you are telling to yourself time and again, okay. There are no people good or bad at anything. There are people, those who think they cannot do this or they cannot do that till they do it. I remember when I purchased my first cycle, okay, I went with my grandfather and I was only 9 years old, and from my pocket money, okay, all the money which I was given on my birthdays and things like that, shagun, okay. So we went, and when I first sat on that, I thought I will never be in a position to ride a bicycle. Number one, that I was 9 years old. All my friends, they learned how to ride a bicycle when they were 4 or 5 years. So I had a backlog of 4 years. And I had a fear. Okay, so in spite of owning a bicycle at the age of 9, I had a fear and I thought that I will not be in a position to do that. My grandfather, who was a primary school teacher, he said, Divesh, आप अपने आप से झूठ बोल रहे हो कि आप नहीं कर सकते. और that changed my perception about that what can be done or what cannot be done, okay. So everybody is good at everything. You just have to go out and try. That's it, okay. And not only that, you have to be good with numbers, but you have to be at ease with numbers, okay. आपको numbers से मजा आना चाहिए. कहते हैं ना, what the meaning of at ease with? It is different from to be at good with. At ease with means आप enjoy कर रहे हो, okay. तो चलिए enjoy करते हैं, okay. Next slide पे चलते हैं, okay. Quantitative aptitude, I will read it out for you because आपके पढ़ने में और मेरे पढ़ने में फर्क होने वाला है. When I read it, I will be emphasizing upon where the emphasis, the force has to be given, which is more important. So that will decide the direction of your journey going forward. So quantitative aptitude or QA or quant is the most important requisite for clearing any competitive exam. Yes, these days, whether it is Combined Defense Services, NDA, entrance test to management colleges, whatever, okay, probationary officers exam, RBI grade B, okay, whatever. Quant is going to be the foundation stone. Quantitative aptitude skills from the bulk of most of the graduate level papers. Let us jump this hurdle through an exhaustive coverage of all the quantitative aptitude topics and an in-depth understanding of this subject. Why in-depth? I will tell you. There is no end to the syllabus of quant. There can be an infinite number of questions, okay. You just change some variable, something, okay, and it becomes a very new set of question, okay, new question. So instead of 2 you put 4, instead of 4 you put 15, and it becomes a new question. Answer will be different. So permutations and combinations can be, infinite, okay. So what you have to do? you have to practice. You have to practice a lot. But again then question comes, practice on what? People say, when I meet my students say, sir, quant is an ocean. Yes, quant is an ocean, but quant is also having a lot many islands. You swim from one island to another, master that portion and move on to another island, and that way you can fathom out the entire ocean. Okay, so there is DI, data interpretation. One by one we will cover all. Inequalities, percentages, okay, number series, arithmetic aptitude, profit and loss, which in the financial terminology is commonly known as P&L. Simple interest and compound interest. So you know interest, and we will cover simple as well as compound both. Age problems. Age problems doesn't mean old age problems, means age related question. X is 5 years older than Y, Y is 10 years younger than Z. If this is so, then what is the age of A? So some you will be having numerical problems here. Work and time, time and speed, probability, permutation and combination, averages, ratios and proportions, partnerships, streamboat problems, mixture and alligation, pipes and cisterns, coding and decoding, important problems, mensuration. Okay, so we will be taking it one by one. Okay, and data interpretation, which is the most popular of quant, will be taken up the first. Okay, now let's go to the numbers. First, let's understand what our numbers are. So there are various types of numbers. So everything falls under the bracket of 0 to 9. But then you will find this magic going forward, that how even the 0 to 9 with some variation here and there can be classified into various categories. Okay. So counting numbers are called natural numbers. Okay. So the first thing is that what are natural numbers? So counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we count only like this, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. We do not count 3.5. Such a counting does not happen. We also do not count -3, -2. Do we? Okay, no. So natural numbers are the numbers which are used for counting. So it starts from 1. We don't even say 0, right? Okay. Have you ever heard a child that, okay, let's start, instead of 1, 2, 3, the child is starting 0, 1, 2, 3. No, it doesn't happen. It always happens 1, 2, 3, and it goes up to infinity. Okay. So that is something. Okay. Whole numbers. What are the whole numbers? As the name suggests, okay, whole numbers. All counting numbers together with 0 from the set of whole numbers. So what forms? Now the only addition on natural numbers is 0. Okay. So 0 and till infinity, these are all whole numbers. So counting numbers mein 0 is not included. Okay. So all natural numbers are whole numbers. Naturally, all natural numbers are whole numbers, but not all whole numbers are natural numbers. Okay. And the exception is this. Okay. Integers, all counting numbers, 0 and negative. So now we are slowly moving up. So counting numbers, they did not include 0. Then the whole, then the whole numbers, they included 0. Now integers, so you have, let's say, 0 here, and then on towards left, let's say -4, -3, -2, -1. Okay. And this side, then naturally you will have to add plus 4 +3 +2, and here plus whatever. Okay, so this is how your numbering system goes. It could be like this also, plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, choose your way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be minus and it will be plus. So this is a scale. On one side of the scale is, left side is minus and right side is plus. Okay. So set of negative integers, you have this here, set of positive integers and set of all non-negative integers. So here we will be having 0 added. Okay. So let's move forward. Even numbers. What are even numbers? Any counting number which is divisible by 2 is called an even number. So any number which is divisible by 2, okay, 2 itself and 0, 4, 6, 8, 12 and then again it goes to infinity. Okay. Sum of two even numbers will be always an even number, okay, no doubt about it. Okay, and you know what happens is, sum of two odd numbers may also become an even number, as it is written here. Okay. Okay. Product of odd and even number is an even number. So if you have a multiplication of 8 with 5, 5 is an odd number, 8 is an even number. So it is 40, which is an even number. Odd number minus odd number is even number. Even number plus even number always an even number. Odd number plus odd number will become an even number, as it is explained above. Smallest and only even prime number is 2. Okay. So you know, below 2 there is no even number. Okay, and it's always above 2. Odd number is an opposite of that. So odd number is not divisible by 2. Okay, so any number which is not divisible by 2 is an odd number. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and you can keep on going up to infinity. Addition of even and odd number is odd number. Okay, got the point? Addition of even and odd number is always an odd number. So if you have 4 plus 3, it will be 7. Odd number multiplied by odd number is odd number. Let's say you have 3 into 7. So it is 21. You have 5 into 5. So you have 25. The first odd prime number is 3. Okay. Let's now learn about prime numbers. Okay. It's not that as you know, the prime in Amazon Prime or something, that these are some very special numbers. No. An accounting number is called a prime number if it has exactly 2 factors. You know the factors. Okay. Like say 6, the factors, the broken parts of 6 are 3 into 2. So these are 2 factors, okay, of 6. On the other hand, if you take the example of 5, then 5 has also 2 factors, 1 and 5. Okay. So what happens is, here a counting number is called a prime number if it has exactly 2 factors, namely itself and 1. Okay. So had 6 been 6 into 1, then 6 would have been a prime number, but 6 is not a prime number because it has 3 into 2 into 1. But 5 is a prime number. Why? Because it has got 1 and itself. So the condition is namely itself and 1. If a number has these two factors, then it is qualified to be called a prime number. So take the example of 2. What are the factors of 2? 2 and 1, right? 2 and 1. So 2 is a prime number. Same thing stands true for all these numbers. Okay. So the numbers up to 100 which are qualified to be called prime numbers are these. These cannot be broken into any other factor. Let's say 89. So 89 will have two factors, 89 and 1. You can write it this way also, 1 and 89. Okay. So it is a prime number. So these are the prime numbers, exact prime numbers up to 100, and I hope that you understood the concept of prime number, the definition of prime numbers well. See, these could be your general knowledge questions also. These could be your basic questions also. Let's not just dive into QA, quantitative aptitude. Before diving into the ocean of quantitative, we should understand the various parameters, various definitions which will lead us into that. Got the point? So shall we move ahead for this quantitative aptitude? Thank you. Composite numbers. All counting numbers which are not prime are called composite number. So 4 is a composite number because it has factors 2 into 2. Okay. And 3 is not, because 3 has got itself and 1. That becomes 3. So 3 is a prime number and 4 is a composite number. A composite number has more than 2 factors. It can be. Okay. So example 2 into 4. So this 8. So 8 has got how many factors now? 8 itself is a factor and 1. So 8 and 1. Then 2 and 4. Okay. 8 can have this factor also, 2 into 2 into 2. Okay. So 2 into 2 into 2 becomes 4. So 4 into 2, 8. So this is something composite number. Perfect numbers. You might be by this time thinking, my God, are the perfect numbers only the perfect numbers and everything else is an imperfect number? No, it's not like that. So let's understand what a perfect number is. A number the sum of whose factors except the number itself is equal to the number is called a perfect number. So let's say the factor, okay, factors of 6, example is given here, 1, 2, 3. So the total of 1, 2, 3, the sum is 6. So this is a perfect number. The factors of 28, 1, 2, 4, 7. Let's say 28, okay, 7 into 4, okay, and 4 is 1. Now you will say from where 2 has come. So yes, 2 has come like this. 4 can be broken into 2 and 2. So 2 is a factor, 4 is a factor, 7 is a factor, okay. And if you multiply 7 and 2, then it becomes 14 into 2, okay. And 28 can also be having these two factors, 28 to 1. So how many factors are there now? 1, 2, 4, 7 and yes, 14. So if you total it, how much you arrive at? 28. So 28 is an example of a perfect number. Okay. Co-primes or relative primes, two numbers whose HCF, highest common factor, is 1 are called co-prime numbers. So let's say these two numbers are given, 2 and 3. What is the commonality between these? Okay. 2's factors are 2 into 1 and 3's factors are 3 into 1. 1 is the highest common factor between these two numbers. Similarly, 8 and 9, So 8 has 2 into 2 into 2 into 1, and 9 has got 3 into 3 into 1. So again 1 is the highest common factor between these two. So they will be known as co-primes. Okay. Twin primes, okay, twin prime numbers whose difference is 2. Okay, so 2 is twin. So 3, 5, 5, 7, 11, 13 are pairs of twin primes. See, as I told you, such questions are asked in various high level competitive examination. This is not a or odd man out, or this one is not an example of twin primes. 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, 7, 11, 13. So naturally 4, 5. But then you should know the definitions before trying such questions. Rational number. See, rational numbers are ratios. These can be expressed in the form P divided by Q or P upon Q, where P and Q are integers, okay, and Q is certainly not a 0. It cannot be a 0, okay. It has to be anything but a 0. Then these are called rational numbers. Number 1, P and Q should be integers, but the denominator, which is Q, should not be a 0. So the examples are 1 divided by 18 minus 8, which is again an integer, divided by 11, 0, 6, 5, okay, 2 upon 3, okay, and these are the rational numbers. Irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are just the opposite, okay. Irrational numbers like say under root 2, under root 3, okay, and something like that, okay. Then you must have heard about, you know, a term called pi, okay. So that is 22 upon 7. So when you keep multiplying it, okay, so when you keep multiplying it, so it keeps on moving, going, and what happens is neither it terminates anywhere, non-terminating, it doesn't end anywhere, nor it repeats any form, any particular form. Okay, you can have a calculator, okay, or a scientific calculator and get the value of pi, 22 divided by 7. So 7 3s are 21, 1, then 10, then again how much you get? Okay, 3, so 3.14, and you can keep up millions and billions and trillions of positions after decimal. Neither it has a pattern, repetitive pattern, nor it terminates anywhere. So pi is a irrational number. Similar about these numbers also, okay. So now we have reached up to these definitions, okay. So I hope you will be repeating these and you will be making yourself comfortable with these decisions. Our quant has just started and we will be moving, as we disclosed earlier, one by one with examples. And what is required on your part? Practice, practice and practice. Thank you.